ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावतीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Namaste. It's wonderful. All of us are the mixture of the good and bad thoughts, noble and ignoble thoughts. Unquote. See, we are the mixture, the good and the bad, the noble and the ignoble. Now, how do you really understand where you are going to join? Okay, see now, you have got a Yudhishthira in your head and also Duryodhana in the other side. So, Yudhishthira represents the good things. Duryodhana represents the bad things. Now, you have got two choices. Okay, you have got two choices. Now, whom you are going to join? Am I right? To whom you are going to join? Okay, now, either you can join with the Duryodhana or Yudhishthira. For that, you need a Krishna within you. When I say Krishna, is the capacity to discriminate. That means whether I am going to join the Duryodhana or the Yudhishthira. That is my choice. Think. See, all of us, without exception, we have got the good and bad. It only goes by the gradation. It's only by the gradation. Okay. So it's a question of the battle of three things. That is, the good, bad, and whom I am going to join. Now, please try to understand. You have to hook to the higher self and not the lower self. So let me explain to you. When I say the higher self, the noble, good thoughts, and the lower self is a lower things like bad and ugly and other things also. Now you have got a choice. That's how you are a human being. You have got the capacity to discriminate. So whether you do it or not is your choice. The human beings have got the only capacity to discriminate what is good and what is bad. And also the capacity to join the bad and also the good. So, hook to the higher self. When I say the higher self, yes, I have got both, the higher self and the lower self. Now, to whom I am going to join? If you are able to join with the higher self, then you will always be happy. Suppose we are going to join the lower self, that means you will always be miserable. All the other outside, the wealth will never make any difference in your mind. Okay. So I want to just explain to you. See, the life is full of challenges, not the problems. Okay. Now, whatever I am getting, I have no choice. But the way in which I am able to respond, I got a choice. I'll put it in a different way. See, whatever that I am getting from outside worlds, I don't have even 1% chance because I cannot control. But as far as I am concerned, the way in which I am responding, I got 100% choice. How I can really do it also. See now, the way in which you are responding makes your life be happy or unhappy. Okay, now either you always try to do something with a lot of efforts. There is no ease at all. Why? There is a lot of anxiety. Also the regret of the past and the anxiety of the future. Now, how can I really manage this particular situation? Okay, see now, I would like to have a kind of a formula which is taught by my Guru, Swami Paramarthananda. He says, MBBS. See, all of you know what is MBBS. Okay, the Bachelor of Medicine and a Bachelor of Surgery. See, all of us know. Normally, what we do, during the student days, we used to call them as hey, MBBS guys. What do you mean by that? The mouth is big and the brain is small. They keep on talking, but they'll never do it. Okay, so we used to tell them, oh, this guy is a MBBS, not the doctor, because he got a big mouth and a small brain. Okay, now I don't want it to be a MBBS in this particular definition. Okay, now I want to explain to you in such a way how can you make the situation to be happy. I just want to tell you how you can hoop to the higher self. Okay, let us understand. When you say M, it is all negative things like meaningless, burdensome, boring, and struggling. That's what I keep on telling. Suppose you ask, oh, what is life? They always say, oh, meaningless, and very burdensome, too much of burden. Okay, and all the time very boring, and for everything I have to struggle. Isn't it? This is a negative thing. That means you are hooking to the lower self. That means you are in the party of the Duryodhana. Right? That means when I say that, okay, say I am meaningless. Okay, how can you find the meaning? How can you really understand? Now what happens? You must think of the opposite. Yes, must be meaningful. When I say meaningful, there must be a purpose of living. I am not a bug. Okay, I am a human being. I have got a capacity to discriminate. I can join either Duryodhana or Yudhishthira because there is a guidance from the Krishna. How can you make life more meaningful? So how can you do that? You have got the Viveka. You have got the capacity to do it also. So how can you do it from the meaninglessness to the meaningfulness? For that, you must have the mindfulness. What do you mean by mindfulness? You must always be aware, very conscious. Every action that you are doing, so you must be very conscious. So most of us, we are doing out of the compulsion. So you have to graduate from the compulsive nature to the conscious stage. So that means from the meaninglessness to the mindfulness or the meaningfulness. Okay, fine. The other one always, burdensome. So what do you mean burdensome? See, this is where the question of the love comes. If I love a job, then it is not a burden. That means I am able to enjoy. It is not a rock. It is a flower. Why? I love it. Well, maybe the job is very difficult. But the chemistry of the love makes it easy. Now when you say burdensome, it is not a rock. It is a flower. So how can you really make it? Only by the loving the job. Okay. Now from the burdensome, you must go to the bountifulness. Okay. How is it possible? Yes, it is possible. Why? See, I never ask for anything in life. It is everything is given to me. But the way in which I am able to respond, it is all in my hands. Okay. Now the next thing, the boring. We always say it's boring. This is one of the worst things in life also. We always say boring. Okay. Now, being alone, it can be a blessing or a kind of a curse. So being alone could be a blessing or a burden. Okay. Now when I say boring, what do you mean by that? That means my mind is very soaked with a lot of sorrows. Okay. How can I make it? So that is why you have to understand. Yes, it is boring. Yeah. What can I do? What is the root cause of the boring? Okay. That means I am not enjoying the job. Okay. I always used to tell, see, you will never ask for what you want. That's the law of life. But you have got the capacity that whatever that you are getting, you can make it beautiful. So that means from the boringness, that means you must say blissfulness. So what do you mean blissfulness? Okay, I explained to you earlier, but when you say bliss, in Sanskrit they say, ananda. See, that means you are always happy. Even if there is a problem, if there is a kind of the boring or struggling, but you are always happy. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. How is it possible? Yes, this is the mindset. If you have the mindset saying that there is ups and downs in life, okay, like a day and night, okay, now you have to convert or graduate from the boring to the blissfulness. Then people say struggling. Why you are struggling? Going to the root cause. Because you don't get what you want. Am I right? You don't get what you want. Now, if you get what you want, then you're always happy. Okay. Now the struggling comes because I am not getting what exactly I want. Unfortunately, you will never get it. Why? Because everybody also want to do the same thing. It is not possible. So you have to accept. So you have to keep on struggling. But you have to, the struggling nature to the kind of a serenity. See, that means, I accept. If you ask me how you can really graduate from struggling to the serenity, so that means you must have the attitude of acceptance. I am putting my best efforts. And please try to understand. That means I can only contribute. I cannot control. Think. It is very powerful. The two C's. That means I have the capacity to contribute. Okay. Now, for me to have a good health, so I do a lot of things. Okay, my exercise, my the food, the sleep, everything. So I can only contribute, but I cannot control. Why? I don't know. People say it is a prarabdha. It is earned by you. Okay. Now the only difference between understanding the prarabdha, that means it is earned by me, and not knowing that leads to the struggling. So that means struggling, how can you graduate to the serenity? When you talk about this, meaningless, burdensome, boring, struggling, they're all negative. All of us have it. It only differs in the proportion. Okay, gradation. Now the intelligent person, if you want to really be intelligent, that means you have to look at the opposite. That means meaningless attitude, you must go to the meaningful and mindful. Then from burdensome to the bountifulness. Then boring to the blissfulness. Struggling and serenity. Now, let me explain to you. I have seen people like watchman, the farmer, okay, and they don't have any kind of a material wealth, but they're always happy. They always surrender to the God. They always say yes, 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 yes. God has created me, and He will take care of me. It's a question of surrendering. And there are people who got so much of money. Okay, suppose a man has got a kind of a 1 million. Now you want to make it as one more zero. So he's struggling. Now, people who are not able to understand about this MBBS, okay, that means you are always postponing the what you call the happiness. You always try to postpone your happiness and inviting the unhappiness. Please try to understand. Okay. Now you are not able to enjoy what you have it. You always look for something what you don't have it. Now the whole purpose of this session is saying that we got so many blessings. Okay. Now don't be a MBBS. Okay. But if you want to be MBBS in a very positive, mindfulness, thoughtfulness, blissfulness, and serenity. Okay. Now it all depends on your mindset. Whether you are a MBBS, that is a big mouth and a small brain, then you graduate to the other MBBS. Okay. Take care. All the best. It is all in your hands. Okay. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkhabhat Bhavet Om Shanti Shanti Shanti